Good morning, everyone. It's April 8th, day 8 of SSSVEDA 2015, and today's topic is adventures. What is your biggest adventure? So we need to look at what adventure means. Adventures are usually exciting and unusual. They're typically hazardous, an experience or an activity. At least that's a dictionary definition. In life, we often have many, many adventures, and some of them we don't even think about being adventures, even though they are. For me, I try and give myself a new adventure as often as possible. It's all about living outside the box, thinking outside your comfort zone. So let's talk for a second. What is your comfort zone? Your comfort zone is that area where you feel safe and protected, and you know what you're doing, and you're not taking too many chances or making too many waves, and life goes on. You probably aren't challenging yourself as much as you could be if you just moved a little bit outside that zone and did something that's a little scary. I have spent my entire life doing things that are outside my comfort zone, doing things that many would consider adventurous, definitely unusual. And it's something that it shapes your life, it changes your life. So I'll share a little bit about some of the adventures I have. I cannot say that one was more adventurous than the other because they all had key learning points and key benefits from each one. My most recent adventures were last July, where I ended up in Portland for World Domination Summit. I had never been to Portland before, so it was a brand new experience, a brand new city. I was also going to an event with over 3,000 people, none of whom I knew, online or offline really, and I was staying with someone I didn't know as well. So these are all huge challenges and things that are completely out most people's comfort zone. But I didn't just stop there. I got to this event, I sat down in my seat, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, you know what? I want to do something during my time here. So, being a mom of 4, I prepare way too much for everything. I had actually brought a whiteboard and markers with me, just on the chance that I came up with some wild, mad idea and found it useful. So what I did, I launched the Trigo project. You can find it at www.trigo.com, so like we, but Trigo. And I pulled out the whiteboard and started asking people questions. I asked them, what is the change you want to see in the world? So during the next few days, I actually asked well over 100 people that question, and I had over 113 people respond, write an answer, and take a picture, and I've been blogging about it ever since. That took a lot of courage. These were not people I already knew. These were people from all over the world that I was actually approaching and asking them questions. I was putting myself outside my comfort zone. I was maybe getting inside their comfort zone a little bit and throwing them off balance by asking them to answer such a huge question. For some people it came very easily. Other people really needed to think, what is the change they would like to see? So that is my big adventure from Portland. And it didn't stop there, because immediately getting back from Portland, I then hopped on a plane to Australia, where I spent 8 days talking about young entrepreneurs and how we can use entrepreneurship as a way to rebuild the economy. I was speaking with world leaders, entrepreneurs making a ton of money, very established in their business, working big businesses, as well as government officials doing amazing things throughout the world and acting in big roles of power. I was a little fish in a pretty big pond. I'm a girl from a small town of about 25,000 people, all of a sudden ending up in Australia. It took me a lot of work to get there, and it was a huge adventure. I came away with many friendships from throughout the world. I also had a few extra adventures while I was there. I toured all around Sydney by myself. I ended up at Manly Beach surfing, and I toured the Blue Mountains. I just experienced life while I was there, and that itself is a great adventure. And I went alone. I didn't take my husband with me. I didn't take my kids with me. It was just me. So get out of your comfort zone and do something now. Don't think you don't have the ability to do something because you are from a small town, or because you don't have that experience yet, or because you're not quite on the level that the other people in your network are at. My business is nowhere near the success that other people's businesses were, but I still had information and value to give to that gathering of people. So that was it for last year's adventures for the most part, other than the fact that I'm an event junkie and maybe ended up at several other events throughout the world. So I thought I'd also share a little bit about other adventures I had, just to give you an idea of some of the things that you can do that are definitely outside your comfort zone. Way back when I was 20, I also had some big adventures. I had started a grassroots organization in Canada and worked with a group in the US, and because of that it led to articles in Maclean's magazine, radio interviews, television interviews, and live debates on Michael Corn Live. I was a 20-year-old girl with 2 young children, and I was doing my part to change the world and inform people. And that experience actually led to me ending up in Washington, D.C., protesting on the United States, what do you call it? I was protesting at the Supreme Court of the United States. I was part of an amicus curiae brief, and I was giving live interviews from Washington, D.C. back to Canada. I often forget that that was a huge adventure I had. And it's actually quite silly that I forget, because you know what? That was a huge, huge experience that I accomplished by the age of 20 without social media like we had today. Basically done through message boards and a lot of writing press releases and reaching out, a lot of hustle that sometimes I forget I have. And I do want to remind you, remember the skills that you have that you might forget that you had, because you know what, there's a lot of knowledge up here that we tend to forget about. Now, let's talk about my biggest adventure ever. My life-changing adventure, the one that started way back when I was 16, was becoming a parent. You don't become a parent at 16. That's not the norm. That's not your expected path. And it definitely was a challenge and a life-changing experience. It still is. I now have 4 kids ranging from 6 to 21. I've raised all of them to be helpful and loving and caring. And they've all excelled really well in school, and they're all great people who also want to change the world. And starting out as a parent when you're 16, it's very hard. People look down at you. They see you as a stereotypical teenager. Oh, she's just going to live on welfare. She just wants a baby, blah, blah, blah. Like all different types of excuses. Doesn't help that the city I grew up in seems to have a fairly high teen pregnancy rate either. Now, I was probably not someone anybody ever expected to get pregnant, which is pretty interesting that I did end up. But you know what? It has been an awesome, awesome adventure. I threw myself right into everything to make sure that I was the best parent I could be. I graduated high school basically on time. I just didn't finish all my OACs. I had planned to, but I still graduated in my OAC year. That's the grade 13 year that no longer exists in Ontario anyways. And I went on to college. Now, I did only spend a year in college because it wasn't the right thing for me. But I did everything in life somewhat on plan. Now, the adventure has led me down so many paths. It has provided me with so much education and learning that it's not one that I would ever change. Sure, there's bumps in the roads. Sure, your life path may change a little bit. But you know what? My life path probably would have been led in a way that didn't satisfy me the way my life does now, and did not provide me with the education or even the loving, supportive family that I have now. So, I don't know, what else can I say about that? Being a parent in general is a huge adventure. You never know what each day is going to bring, because your life isn't just about you. It's about your entire family. It's about those kids and the things they do and making sure they're okay, in addition to you going after your own dreams. It can definitely be done. I'm living proof it can be done. Anyone who can go from being in a small town and a teen mom to reach to the heights I'm reaching, to be able to travel to Australia to represent Canada, to be launching a second business based on her passion, to have even accomplished all the things I have in life. It takes a huge adventure, a huge amount of commitment, and we are all capable of doing it. So I think we're basically going to end today's video there. I hope you have found some of this enlightening, and I challenge you all to step outside your comfort zone and do the things that scare you most. That is where your adventure comes in, your biggest adventures. Don't think small. Don't think, oh, well, I'll go do this because it'll be an adventure. I want you to think big. I want you to take chances, take risks, calculated risks, but take risks. There's always ways to minimize risk while still taking risks and taking huge challenges. You want to be safe and protect your health and protect the safety of others. But other than that, take those risks. Do something that's different to you. Go do that skydiving. Go try surfing or snorkeling, or go to clown school. I don't know, whatever your adventure is. So if there's something you want to do, go after it. If there's people you want to meet or events you want to go to them. Don't let not knowing anybody stop you from changing your life. Don't let not knowing where you're going or uncertainties stop you from living your life and taking action. Live outside the comfort zone, because you know what? It's an awesome place to live. So we will touch base again tomorrow. For now, I want you to think about what things can you do that are far outside your comfort zone, that are going to be your next adventure. Rebecca Palmer signing off. Chat with you guys tomorrow. Bye.